Hello everyone and welcome to my session deep dive into Sentinel Data Lake in Unified Security Operation. Many thanks Gregor for organizing a festive tech calendar this year, and I'm looking forward to be part of great speaker on the amazing event. We can start with the agenda, what we'll discussing during this session. It is actually in the stage, it is definitely introduction to explain what is actually Microsoft Data Lake and why is Data Lake game changer for security operation. My highlight will be in role in enable in a cost-effective way, long-term data storage for advanced analytics, and definitely modern security operations center face challenges with the data growth, with the compliance, with advanced threat detection. Sentinel Data Lake provides centralized, secure, and cost-optimized solution for retaining and analyzing a large volume of security data over extended period of years. And of course, with architecture overview, I will describe the core component of Sentinel Data Lake, why it's important with the point of view integration with the Microsoft Sentinel and Defender XDR, MCP server, and how is this leverage Azure Data Explorer for high performance query, for example, but with emphasis of scalability and with emphasis of flexibility. It is a good point of view. With the point of view data retention and storage, it is important to say some retention option, hold archetype, but how organization can optimize cost while meeting the compliance requirement. I will discuss about the strategy tier storage. I will discuss why is actually data lake important in that way. How we deal with the table, how we manage the table in Defender portal, and after that, how data tiers and retention work each other. You can retain data in Microsoft Sentinel in one of the 2 tiers. One is analytic tier, the second is a data lake tier. But by default, for example, Microsoft Defender XDR threat hunting data is always available in analytic tier for the 30 days, 1 month. Customer can extend retention in data analytic tier to up to 19 days, including the XDR licenses for no additional cost, for example. And of course, very important part is how we can onboarding and set up Sentinel Data Lake. It is a great process. And what is actually prerequisite for that? We have some prerequisite for onboarding. To onboard the Sentinel Data Lake, for example, Defender and Microsoft Sentinel must be available and integrated with the Defender XDR. Existing subscription, resource groups, for billing for data lake. I am owner and contributor of subscription. Sentinel primary workplace connecting in Defender XDR portal, and etc. I will explain all the process, but if you have connected in Sentinel in Defender XDR portal to onboarding the data lake, the primary workplace must be in tenant home geographic region. Geographic region must be the same for both Defender and Sentinel. Keep in mind, not all region are currently support as a part of the preview of general available during public preview. Primary and other workspace must be the same region, but I will explain how we can do now, because of course data lake, it is very important information, is general available starting 30 December this year. Microsoft is expanding Sentinel into AI power end-to-end security platform that is includes SIEM and new platform capability like Sentinel Data Lake, Graph Power Analytic, and MCP server. SIEM, Security Event Management System, remain, keep in mind, remain a core component, and will be actively deployed, actively supported from Microsoft for customer. Of course, I will also explain very important part, Unified RBAC model with Defender XDR, how we deal with the Sentinel Data Lake permission. Pricing model regarding cost structure. We will discuss about injection. We will discuss about storage tier. We will discuss about query execution and retention policy, include tips for forecast cost and leveraging optimization feature like reserve capacity. And of course, we are faced with a lot of operation use case scenario with data lake, how we connect very important part, threat hunting and analytic with long-term data. And it is very important to know how analytic can run, for example, historical query, correlate pattern, uncover advanced trend using extending retention. And of course, one of the important part is compliance, audit use case. How Sentinel Data Lake support, for example, in many cases, regulatory requirements by providing long-term data storage and audit-ready success. Cost management and billing, it is also important part, and we will discuss during this session. Okay, we can start in model in the Unified Security Operation Platform. Now all your incident, threat hunting activity, playbooks, workbooks, threat intelligence is one platform without any switching tool. It is reduced cost. It is easy, for example, for SOC analysts to work and save cost, of course. That is a benefit. In the stage, in the power is AI power security operation with generative AI, with agentic AI in security copilot, with many automation, with AI enhancing feature in order to find a way how to using generative AI to use automatic attack disruption in Defender XDR. For example, attacker use reconnaissance for the tier 0 domain controller and try to push some suspicious PowerShell script, automatically will be stopped by AI. Enhanced feature with the point automatization, it is very important. Protect and Defender across workload for all Defender capability and family of Defender, detection and response across endpoints, across clouds, application, identity, and of course, all native workloads. We have investigation, we have response action, we have threat hunting action, we have all incident management with alerts in one place. Broad access coverage with attack pattern analysis, how we prioritize action, but it is very important. Exposure management will be added with Microsoft Defender vulnerability management and the risk management and vulnerability management with all prioritization action will be in one place. Threat intelligence, very comprehensive threat insight with infrastructure analysis, threat actor profiles, global insight, latest threat research with infrastructure level. Now, Defender for Cloud is a part of Defender Unified Security Operation Platform. It is very important, and it is actually great news for our all work regarding incident investigation, threat hunting, action, and response. On the first stage, actually, we must understand what is the benefit of data lake. I mentioned security data lake is designed to help to optimize cost, to help simplify data management, and how accelerate adoption of AI in security operation. And of course, Microsoft Sentinel Data Lake is designed for flexible analytics, cost management, and deeper security insight. We have centralized security data in open format for easy access, unified view for threat detection. On the first stage on this slide, where is the CM, we have detection, hunting, investigation. I'm using Copilot, Security Copilot to generative report for summarize incident, for better connector for the indicator for compromise, to analyze this in first responding suspicious script, file analysis, and many, many more. But response investigation, threat detection, that is very important across hybrid and multi-cloud environment, because Defender is we can use also for multi-cloud operation, not only with the point of view single tenant. I will explain practically and show you in detail during this session. We have a storage and compute pricing model to allow our customer to store massive volume of security data of the cost compared with the traditional SIEM solution. And finally, multiple analytics, multiple Custo query, but I'm using Custo, I'm using Spark, I'm using machine learning on a single data copy to simplify management, reducing cost and supporting many, many deeper security analysis. I can integrate my GitHub Copilot and the Visual Code Studio with SOC team in order to automate my work, anomaly detection, forensic analysis, and of course, I'm using AI, agentic AI for and AI agent via MCP server. That is very important part, how we understand. And actually, MCP is a Microsoft control plane that is a foundational layer in Microsoft Azure that manage resource policy, orchestration of cloud services, and for Sentinel Data Lake, MCP provide centralized management, handles provisioning, handles scaling, life cycle of data lake resource, policy enforcement, apply Azure policy, compliance rule, unify RBAC role across Sentinel and Defender XDR. And finally, we have a very important layer that is integration layer. Connect Sentinel Data Lake with other Microsoft security services like Defender XDR, Entra ID, Microsoft Preview through Unified API. And role, it is very important because MCP, Microsoft control plane, is a control layer, while the Sentinel Data Lake is a data layer. It is very important to understand. And you can ensure encrypted communication between injection, pipeline, query engine, and storage tier. Of course, with the point of view governance model for SOC team, managing multiple Azure security service, it is very, very important. Without MCP, manage Sentinel Data Lake and the scale would require manual configuration for all components. With the point of view automatization, compliance, resilience, it is crucial for the modern security operation model handling, for example, petabyte of security data. And actually, we have two tiers, analytic tier and data lake tier. With Unified Data Connector include more than 350 Sentinel connector. In analytic engine, we have custom query language and Spark notebooks. With the data lake, I have access store, activity store, threat intelligence store with raw storage. And finally, how we deal with the data tier, how we understand this part. I start to explain and mention you can retain data in Microsoft Sentinel and two of core component. That is the first of all is of course analytic tier. Analytic tier, this tier make data available in a point of view alerting, with the point of view threat hunting, workbooks, and all Microsoft Sentinel feature. And we have in analytic tier actually two states. The first is, you can see on this slide, analytic retention. Analytic retention, that is hot state, full available in real-time analytic, including high performance, including query, analytic rules, and trend hunting. By default, Sentinel and XDR retain data in this tier for 1 month, 30 days. You can extend the retention period for all Sentinel table up to 2 years. It is very important to emphasize at monthly long-term retention charge. You can extend also retention period of Microsoft Sentinel solution table for the 19 days for free. The second stage is total retention. Total retention by default, all data in analytic tier is mirroring to the data lake for the same retention period, and you can extend retention period and retention of your data in your lake for up to 12 years of total retention on the low cost. That is amazing. Data lake tier with Sentinel custom table, it is low cost. That is actually our cold tier. Why? Because Sentinel retains your data in the lake only. How we understand this process? Data in data lake tier isn't available for real-time analytic feature and threat hunting, but you can access data in lake whenever you need to through some custom query language jobs, analysis trend over time, you're running scheduling QQL, or Spark job or something like that. And when we have aggregate insight from incoming data, I can ingest specific data to analytic retention as need. And actually, when you extend the retention beyond default, it is 30 days. But here we have incoming data at regular cadence, but using summary rule in Microsoft Sentinel. XDR data. XDR is actually default tier. XDR threat hunting table by default for the 30 days in this state, but customer can extend, of course, retention of this data in analytic tier up to 19 days. including XDR licenses for no additional cost. That is important. And this diagram actually shows how retention component in data analytic, data lake, and XDR default tier, and which table types apply for all tier. And we have actually explanation. You can see now. Data lake is configurable by default. It is same as analytic tier, but for each storage, when total retention is the same as analytic tier retention. Free storage for Sentinel-enabled workspace, for 19 days for analytic tier, and advanced threat hunting by default is retention by 30 days default, including XDR licenses with a point of view data, XDR retention, and cost. It is important to understand. Of course, we have additional characteristic, cost-effective long-term retention, large volume of data. That is actually called storage in data lake. Interactive retention hot is analytic tier. It is actually important to understand. And of course, search job is available for the both tier. You can use restore summary rule. Data export is only available for analytic tier, but retention period, it is same for analytic retention by default. You can extend up to 12 years. You can switch table tier and retention setting in any time. I will show you practically. When you change table, all real-time analytic and hunting queries stop working. When you shorten table total retention, Microsoft wait 30 days before removing data. You can revert, change, and avoid data loss if you made error in some configuration. With the point of view permission, we have actually the standard scope of role for data lake write permission. If you have activity to write something in table in analytic tier using a custom query language, jobs and notebooks, you can use security operations, security administration, global admin's role, write to table. In Microsoft Sentinel Data Lake, you can use Entra also role, one of the following Microsoft Entra ID role. Which table you can manage in Defender portal? Definitely you can manage a lot of table. By default is Sentinel for Azure Diagnostic, AWS, XDR table, and actually it is important when we create Microsoft Sentinel workspace, you can when you increase analytic retention period beyond 30 days. Custom table I can create manually and through jobs in Microsoft Sentinel workspace. I can use a summary rule in that operation and search job result table and custom data source table. Table in XDR default tier. I can use 30 days analytic retention by default. For example, for identity info table, I can view this table, but I can't manage from Defender portal. It is interesting. How we compare, I actually explained previously, but it is important to see a summary rule, search jobs, restore, and it is summary rules and search job is available for the both option. Restore is available only for analytic tier, data expert also. With the point of view injection, we have standard, we have minimal regarding data lake tier, and of course, when we have historical trend analysis and forensic, when we have some compliance section, regulatory logging, long-term data, it is all this situation best using data lake tier. And of course, how we onboarding to tenant Sentinel Data Lake. It is actually quite easy and start in Defender XDR portal. We can use, of course, HTTPS security.microsoft.com, and you can initiate by navigating in settings Microsoft Sentinel Data Lake. I will explain, but it is the first stage when I onboarding Sentinel, and click Setup Microsoft Sentinel Lake Data Lake button. And of course, it is important to emphasize when the following message is visible. It means the tenant is actually not configuring to follow the need prerequisite. And at the same time, I will explain Microsoft support Sentinel Data Lake later, and back on this slide. During onboarding, Data Lake is provisioning the same region as your primary Sentinel workspace. That is one of the very, very important prerequisite, and the subscription over on your subscription with the point of view identity access management. Microsoft Sentinel primary workspace connecting in Defender XDR portal. Microsoft Sentinel is the same region as your tenant home region. And read privileges, of course, is primary and other workspace, so they can attach to the Sentinel Data Lake. And we can start setup. And after that, we have set up for Microsoft Sentinel Data Lake, and very, very easy to understand all of this process. When we have all prerequisites in one place, the side panel with wizard will be bearing and cost configuration. In addition, your data injection cost, it is very important to emphasize also responsibility for other costs, including charge for extend data retention and all query in Data Lake. Azure subscription must be defined, of course, by a new one. That is a way of storing all Data Lake resources in different resource group. I can define some dedicated resource group for Sentinel, but it can be the same, the Microsoft Sentinel instance. Keep in mind, if existing Microsoft Sentinel workplace use some jobs, some, for example, auxiliary logs on long-term retention, that is actually a higher. Billing and pricing for those features will switch to the Microsoft Sentinel Data Lake matters, and we have actually when you are high, when you have a situation the auxiliary logs used, you'll be moving the new Data Lake matters and configuration. Set up Data Lake with all of this explanation, and actually we have Data Lake ready for our use. It will take about, for my case, it was about 60 minutes before Data Lake is full integrated and linked in Defender tenant. But when the process is pending, the message Data Lake setup in progress, it must be visible. Now, let's wait some time before the start with the Sentinel Data Lake. After quite some time, Data Lake setup is finally complete, and I have information about billing, Azure subscription, resource group, what I actually use in my onboarding process. And finally, I can share my screen in the home portal. I have all prerequisites. Keep in mind additional, very important, your workspace must be added here, and your log analytic must be in status connected with resource group location and subscription. You can add multiple workspace, but and after that we have data lake with actually information with the status onboarding, and after that we have default the data lake instance. When I expand Microsoft Sentinel, you can see now we have data lake exploration with QQL query, notebooks, jobs, search restore, and finally cost management with 2-tab usage and notification. What about the region? I previously tried to explain. Regional support for Sentinel Data Lake is North America with Canada and United States for the whole Asia region, and Asia and the Middle East with India, Israel, Japan. Europe is France, Switzerland, the UK, Australia, and actually that is availability geographic region. That is also prerequisite for our work. One of the major items is configuration data connector, and actually when Sentinel data connector is enabled, we have situation the data will be pursuing analytic tier and mirroring data tier automatically. Good to know, when connector is enabled, default data is sent automatically to analytic data tier and mirroring in the data lake tiering with the same retention as analytic tier doesn't incur additional billing charge. Only when we have situation in increasing, it will be generate additional cost and everything regarding this approach. And that is actually very important to understand in our process how is deal. For example, additional costs for the storage. Some custom query language can be used to query data for scheduling and promoting results to analytic tier. But once in analytic tier, the advanced QQL feature is available. It is very important, but you can use, for example, ingest data tier only, which this data will be injection only to the data lake tier. I will explain one use case, and we have actually a standard scope of dashboard with QQL query, with the data transformation. When Sentinel data is actually enabled, it is possible to configure data retention and tiering of data connector. On the connector detail page in table management, you can select some table and see that. I will switch to show you actually this part, because that is very important. I will go in configuration on Sentinel and actually table. And you can see a large number of table, about 224 items. I can realize full value of Sentinel, power of modern data lake by optimized data management in real time. And I have, for example, some threat intel export operation. I can click on specific table and go now in manage table here. And after you set up Sentinel Data Lake, all new data ingested into table is automatically available in Data Lake regardless of tier. And we have actually analytic tier, responsive retention for real-time monitoring, detection, and hunting. analytic retention, for example, for 19 days, total retention, same as analytic retention, but data lake tier provide cost-effective storage with support for flexible data format, cookwell, query, notebooks, jobs with retention up to 12 years. That is important, and I can switch between this table when it is need to store, for example, table only in data lake tier. Configuration can be changed to store data directly in the data lake tier. When changing settings to the data lake tier, for example, I can switch here now. For example, following contents not be available for the table in data lake, but I can switch in order to show you and say automatically is tier change. And I have actually total retention for 270-day integrated data lake. And when you're changing the settings to data lake tier, any existing content will stop working after changing for data lake tier. When the table is changed, data lake tier only mode, table setting will be changed and visible as a tier data lake, what you see now in this slide, with the table type, Sentinel, and total retention for this type of days. As of this moment, there is no data in data lake. Okay, but in result, in less cost, we have actually very good table management here. Of course, I can explain with some connector. For example, syslog, and I setting this actually in managed table previously. Analytic tier retention setting is 30 days, same as analytic retention. In total retention, but retention is 180 days for data lake tier. For example, I can use injection, syslog, and common event format via AMI connector to quickly filter and inject syslog message, including message in common event format. I can go firstly actually in configuration. I can go in data connector in order to show you what I'm doing. And this is the standard scope of Sentinel connector. And you can see now I have also on this connector status connected for 10 connector. One of the connector is syslog via Azure Monitor Agent. I can open connector page in order to show you with some prerequisite and what is actually in table management prerequisite for analytic and lake and table retention. I can configure data connection rule for my Ubuntu Linux workstation. And you can see rule name, subscription resource group, and I can switch to select my subscription for my virtual machine. You can see now and collect all of this information with the source type and data to connect with my resource. Select JBox to collect message with no facility, with no severity, but I can collect all of this data. And of course, we have syslog creation as a prerequisite, data connection rule, and to use Azure Monitor Agent machine of collector for logs. For mother machine, I can run script for my AMI install virtual machine here. I am successfully connected previously on my Linux virtual machine via SSH for my resource groups subscription. That is prerequisite. And after that, I can go I open SSH and I can use my sudo privilege for my work, and I'm currently connected as a root. And I can use this command. It is prerequisite in Sentinel. Log forwarder prerequisite. If your log forwarder, for example, isn't Azure Virtual Machine, you must have Azure Arc connected machine agent. But Linux forwarder virtual machine must have Python 200.7 or 3 installed. But okay, I can configure data connector with data connection rule. I can configure this prerequisite with the settings and create rule and run this installation script for my log forwarder. From connector page, I copy command line and just push here these scripts, and you can see I can successfully install forward for AMI, install Python, and sign for log forwarder, pass the command and configure security service for appliance. And after that is prerequisite for your syslog via AMI in status connected. And you can see now I have in table syslog in Data Lake, what I previously show, and manage table tier, analytic and lake table retention. I select the table to manage the table tier and configure retention settings, but here it is 180 days for log analytic, the central place for all my security, information log, everything in one place. Of course, and it is visible. Data Lake for 180 tier. You can switch between two tier, but now cost-effective retention with support for cookwell, query, notebooks, and jobs is actually now by default data lake tier, and that is amazing. Syslog is, of course, event logging protocol that is common to Linux application will send some message and maybe store for your local machine delivering syslog connector, but when is agent for Linux is installed, configure local syslog daemon to forward message to the agent. It's very easy to understand, and after that, agent can send message to log analytic workspace. That is how we understand. And when I go back in configuration table and found my specific table for syslog, I can continue with my work with table and integrated this data lake for my specific table and manage data retention for XDR and Microsoft Sentinel table in a very, very easy way. That is actually one good case how we understand all process with table management, but table management under data management is a new view to get unified view across the table in analytic tier, data lake tier, and XDR default tier. Where table R is analytic, it is actually means data is log analytic as a part of Microsoft Sentinel. Where table is data lake only available in data lake, XDR default tier or table is a part of XDR solution. Natively, it is of course Defender XDR. But this overview shows complete view analytic retention and total retention with all table score, analytic and data lake tier, and that is a place for our work and how we understand this whole process. Logs like network, firewall, and other high load data is really expensive where is direct injection in analytic tier. That is a good example. And we use new data lake. It is possible to small set of data from data lake directly into analytic tier without injection in the first analytic tier. It is a very good option, and we can create custom query language with support of this operation. And we have actually syslog here. I will go back. Okay, I can show some specific table. I can edit this query, sign in logs, and with some result here, with some specific cookwell part of query in data lake exploration. I can show device information with some specific range in our work. For example, I don't know, maybe in the period of time for the June to November, give me the last 15 events. And in result, we have all information regarding client version, device ID, device name, what is the type of our resource, and actually it is I can say this, but I can use all of this schema. It is actually very similar when I go in security Microsoft.com here and go in threat hunting, advanced threat hunting. And for example, if I wish to see syslog the last 10 in 24 hours, I can see result here of my syslog injection for my virtual machine, facility, event type, host name, severity level, syslog message, process ID, how many host IP, how many process name with the type, all is of course syslog. It is very, and you can switch with advanced threat hunting, but you can use directly here in the Lake Explorer cookwell query for your work. And use cookwell job to move the small set of data from data lake directly into analytic tier with a lot of activity. I can create job from cookwell, create from template for my specific action with anomaly signing behavior base of location change. I can create from template, and I can use wizard for this with explanation. My aim to identify some anomaly, signing behavior on location change for enter ID users and apps to detect some changing behavior. And that is job. Anomaly signing behavior based some location change, for example. I can use my log analytic workspace and create, for example, new table, or you can use some existing table from the set of scope. And of course, we can use some standard name. For example, anomaly signing behavior, and I can define table here, but I must have one word. Okay, and cookwell with CL. The next part, I can use predefined query for my job, and of course scheduling job for daily, weekly, monthly, from some specific period of time. I can set job to run independently job is scheduling to run starting, and after that I can finalize the job as scheduling with creation of QQL. Very easy way. Keep in mind, you can define here on the right corner up log analytic as the primary, and of course you can use a lot of table here, Microsoft Sentinel with anomaly, behavioral analysis, watch list, threat indicators, and tools. You can define new query, and it is actually very good to understand. But currently, search more in the summary rule, and of course, since the summary rule we support more one, and of course you can use this option in summary rule. With templates, some specific, for example, template, how it works. I can create summary rule for selecting add new, follow the step is summary rule wizard, and more summary rule explore in Content Hub, install on demand, and everything, and I can create for example, for testing with existing with the new custom log table, I can add suffix yel to be automatically add my table name with diagnostic setting, and after that I can create summary logic for my work and everything regarding summary rule. It is very easy to understand, and of course I can aggregate Microsoft Sentinel data with summary rule with some specific for example, I can add some, for example, I don't know, GCP summary, test with a new custom log name, for example, suffix is automatically add, and I can for example add some logic in custom query for specific job, for GCP audit log, where service name is some Google apps.com with run summary every 1 hour automatically see, and we after that we can wait if you have some severity count, but with some result. I don't have now this type of recommended you enable summary log diagnostic setting on workspace to get visibility for historical run and everything in that way. In query scheduling area, I define letters, how often you want to rule to run. I can define want to rule to run with any sort of delay, minutes, and I can set custom delay also for my work, and automatically create a safe summary rule. It is in progress, but I can see now. Okay, no data available now. Azure Monitor also support creating. I must, but I can deploy pre-built summary rule template for my work in Content Hub and content type in summary rule. When I go actually in content management in Content Hub, I have option with content type, and when I check all of this option and check only summary rule, I can see here actually without playbook only, you can see now I have predefined summary rule template for my work, and for Zscaler, for Fortinet, for Network Fusion Essential, for example, and I can install with dependency for my work, and I can view all detail about this in portal with my account. That is actually prerequisite for Network Essential install. I can install actually this domain solution in very easy way, and it is explained prerequisite. I must have one or more the list solution to develop my SIM parser to unlock value provided by solution. But I can define my resource, Sentinel resource group, my local analytic workspace, and review, create this network session essential with the point of view summary rule and pre-built summary rule template for work. Different scenario in Microsoft Sentinel we have for this solution. Okay, we can continue, and of course, very important part for our work is cost management. Cost management with interface, and we can see actually for control usage, for optimize our cost with the customized usage report. We have I can define some data range, and I can see total gigabyte under management with the trend of volume in gigabyte under management from my tenant, and top actually table by volume of gigabyte injection. That is data lake storage, and it is very important to understand this process with no point of view actually how we bring our security data with the point of view cost optimization, and everything with one place. And this is the way how we optimize cost with tier storage on the main data promotion, single copy of our data. And when I go now in my actually tier for this, I can switch to my Defender portal, and this is actually place when I click for cost management. I can see I can generate my usage report with compute hour consumed in some specific period of time. I can click on file tab here for data lake injection, data lake storage, data lake query. For all of this actually option, just go in the Microsoft Sentinel cost management usage page. It is very easy to understand. That is visualization our usage by capacity over time. I can be found under currently billing capacity, and of course cost forecast is actually placed when we go in cost management billing blade in Azure portal, but open Microsoft Sentinel settings with all of this table billing information such subscription and resource group. And of course the first is data lake injection with actually top 10 table by volume of gigabyte injection you can see all information and what is the trend data injection in gigabyte. Data lake storage, very similar trend of volume of gigabyte under management with top 10 table by volume of gigabyte. With actually all of this table, one of is what I managed previously is threat intelligence indicator table. It is managed by data lake storage. I can use data lake query for data scanning in gigabyte with the point of view some period of time. I can define, I can download this actually and found my actually Excel file with data lake query. Part, of course, but I can use many good point using this usage report with injection, lake storage, advanced analytics, data insight, how compute hours consume, data processing by top table by volume of gigabyte, and of course notification in Microsoft Sentinel with the policy status unit of measure. I can configure notification for example for data lake storage. I can set some predefined gigabyte of mind threshold, for example 10, and alert percentage is, for example, 18% with alert threshold value 8. And you can see matter name is data lake storage with usage amount 10 gigabyte per mind, and usage alert is actually 18%. I had created previously, and it is actually enabled with the policy state. All of this operation I can continue with a similar create a new policy for data log injection, for lake query, data insight, data processing, and everything. You can use this cost control in very good way. And I can analyze this trend report, usage report for data lake storage, notification. This notification page let it is currently main notification go to billing administrator that configure them, but setting this threshold help us to keep track of usage and prevent any unexpected change. That is the aim. Currently the main notification to the billing administrator I mentioned, but enter alert percentage, and it is very easy understand this process and manipulate with actually cost control and everything regarding Sentinel Data Lake. This is a part of, but it is also important to understand. And we have some pricing for Sentinel Data Lake. It is also a part with some SKU and level, meter type, and finally you can see price in dollar. I can actually use this pricing component for this aggregation pricing model for storage, billing, cost element. Data lake injection per gigabyte is $0.05 for price. Data lake query is actually 0.205. Advanced data insight, but compare with analytic tier is very important. For analytic injection, for example, it was 200, I think 5 to 5 100 per gigabyte. Retention base 19 days, I can compare with, for example, analytic tier. But when I compare this parameter, my conclusion is data lake is 7 to 80% cheaper for long-term retention. And that is the point, because in analytic tier, hot storage for real-time detection default is between 30 and 19 days is free. Data lake tier, cold storage for compliant and historical analysis up to 12 years retention. Data is mirrored important part automatically from analytic to data lake with no extra injection cost during analytic retention window. And what is actually cost optimization strategy? Keep high value log in analytic, move verbose compliance log to data log. It is definitely with the point of view tier storage, very important information. Query efficiency. I can use scope query. I can use sampling to reduce compute cost. I can use for analytic tier injection commitment place save up to 500%, for example, the pay-as-you-go model. Apply definitely what I explained previously with the syslog table. Apply data connection rule to avoid injection low value logs. During 3 days of data log storage is free during preview, and data processing cost is waived, but actually you can use all of this model in very, very good because Sentinel Data Lake is amazing, and you must understand, you must unlock scalable security analytic and save with the Sentinel Data Lake your money. You have option all in Sentinel analytic only calculation. You have option in B hybrid with the data lake. I can calculate whole hot injection for 19 days. For example, 9 gigabyte with multiple sum per gigabyte table dollar, that is 276 per gigabyte, and it is actually about $25 per year. Cold injection for 175 days, for example. Cold storage, I can use 27 terabyte with calculation with multiple 12s. Because that is a threshold for cold storage. How many query? 1 terabyte per month, for example, with calculation how many dollar? That is for data lake query, multiple with the number 12. That is actually $16 per year. And annually saving it's in for my calculation with 2 models. I can share some calculation with you. It is very good to understand. And I have 2 calculation, all in Sentinel, analytic tier only, and hybrid with data lake. And it is good. Advanced Insight, 2,000 hours with predictable how many dollar is actually $300 per year. In total, annual saving is about $100, 1,000 actually. For this calculation, annual saving you can easy calculate with actually cost saving about 75 with hybrid with the data lake model. It is very good calculation, very good example. For our work, Microsoft Sentinel provides actually cloud-native security capability, but costs can hold back adoption. But Sentinel Data Lake tier changed the equation, making long-term retention affordable and advanced analytic practical. And 75% annually. Hybrid hot plus cold approach organizations say of when unlock new opportunity for advanced analytic. But you can use pricing calculator for step-by-step process with any problem to use. Unified RBAC role is very important part, and if you're using multi-tenant approach menu settings, it will be move for all your tenant. I will go now in Defender portal, and this button is open for multi-tenant operation. It is very good how I can switch between tenant. I can go now in my I can previously connect. Okay, I can go now in order to find what is my code. I can verify and go in my multi-tenant. I can go in settings, and you can see now I can add up to 100 tenants. I can delete tenant, remove, but I can add tenant. I can switch between tenants. And here is in system is permission part, and I can switch my custom unified custom role. If I have security administrator, I can edit this part, and I can setting my security operation with security data alerting, advanced file collection, security copilot, mail collaboration metadata, security posture management for all my work permission for vulnerability management, exposure management, application handling, remediation handling, and my authorization for custom permission. Manage, read, and read them all manage. Of course, I can define from my users. I can edit assignment here and settings my role in very easily. Automatically will be acceptable for all tenant using Unified permission in Defender portal for multi-tenant operation. And of course, I can switch between tenants with a point of view to check permission, go on my primary single tenant, and when I check also permission, it is automatically will be visible for my XDR, Entra ID, scope, endpoint role, and cloud apps, all family of Defender. I can click here and see all of these previously existing role in multi-tenant operation, and I can define some scope, cloud scope for my work, define what user can see and do in Microsoft Defender, and stay with that. It is very, very good. Many different use case. You can use many different use case for Sentinel Data Lake. For threat investigation over extended timelines, behavioral baseline for deeper insight for SOC engineer to build some time series model using months of signing logs to establish some standard normal behavior in order to identify some unusual pattern, credential abuse, lateral movement, and etc. SOC team correlate alerts with firewall net flow. Data often stored only on data lake, reducing false positive, increasing alert accuracy, and of course some case with threat intelligence team React for emergent indicator of compromise by running historical query, machine across data lake, Spark notebooks to build operational custom machine learning model for anomaly detection, alert enrichment, predictive analytics, and etc. You can use all of this part of these settings regarding Sentinel Data Lake. Interface is amazing. You can use Jupyter notebooks also for your work in very easily way, where we discuss about these topics. I can go now in my Sentinel Data Lake, but this is presentation I must found because I switch many tools here. Okay, I can go in Sentinel and Data Lake exploration, and you can see notebooks write Hodley directory for Ask AI Assistant to build Power Jupyter notebooks. You can dynamically explore, analysis, visualize with the point of view visualization and in context integral part of Sentinel Data Lake ecosystem. It's powerful tools for data analysis, visualization. Notebooks provide a Microsoft Sentinel Visual Studio Code extension. When I switch, for example, in my Visual Studio Code, and go here, and I can go now in File and Preferences and Extension, and you can see now I can search Sentinel, and you can see now this is the Sentinel for Visual Studio Code. That's a simplified code developer for Microsoft security solution. You need to install the Jupyter extension for Visual Studio Code, and lock data lake capability with notebooks, Spark to perform complex transformation. With powerful analytic and visualization, you can interact with data lake using Python and Spark to perform some and machine learning model to create visualization directly from the notebook and schedule your notebook regularly. It is definitely great feature. You can settings all of this here, all details with the feature, the change log dependency, but you can easily install with extension in Microsoft Sentinel using Visual Code Studio. It is the way how we use this, and GitHub Copilot extension is also Copilot is optional for this. Signing a try example, use this option is very good for our work. This is actually this is actually all from my side for this session. Customer can set usage-based alerts for specific matter. We are introducing new cost management feature to help customer with the cost predictability, billing, transparency, operation efficiency, cost management, billing. It is also very good. But you can use all of these Sentinel Data Lake cases with Spark notebooks to build an operational custom machine learning model for that. Thank you very much for your time for this session, and stay with me with new challenge regarding what is new in Unified Security Operation and what is new with Sentinel Data Lake. Thank you very much, and have you a nice rest of the day. Bye-bye.